Yeah, LGBTQ. LGBTQ.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be kicking off my final introductory video with a story, a true life story at that, to explain why I decided to include the rainbow color on my channel logo. Full disclosure though, I happen not to be the best storyteller out there, so I hope you guys will be able to forgive me if at some point I bore you out. Anyways, the title of this story will be called Colors. Oga, will you shut up? I'm really sorry for that rude interruption. So back to my story. I'll try to be as quick as possible. I remember my first sighting of the rainbow colors was during my primary school days. It was in a place called Eneka. This is a town in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. I remember this particular rainy yet sunny day. I was done with my classes and I was caught in two minds to either stay put, wait out the rain, or I should listen to my hungry stomach, which was urging me to ignore the rain and head home regardless. Don't with me, I like food, so I listened to my stomach that particular day. So I remember when I was heading back home, I had this pause. I stood for a short while and I looked at the beautiful African sky and I saw this cluster of colors. Then I didn't know what to make of it. I remember getting back home that day, and I saw my mom looking at me very angrily. The words from her mouth was, "My pikin, what did they do you? Why did you enter this rain? And you want me to enter your body?" Stuff like that. So she was concerned about me allowing the rain hit me so badly. So I told her I just had to, because I was really hungry. So she told me to quickly go have my shower, take my clothes off and get something to eat in the kitchen. So I told her, "Yes, ma." But as I was going, I remember what I saw a couple of minutes ago. So I went back and I was like, "Mom, I saw this cluster of colors in the sky. I don't know, I saw different colors on the sky. I don't know what it meant." So she was very dismissive of it. She was like, "Okay, that one, I became a rainbow that they call it. Say rainbow." She said yes. She said this happens when a big snake in her village, was giving birth. It usually happens anytime a big snake in her village was giving birth. So I said, "Really?" She said yes. Well, like they say, moms don't lie. So I believed her. It was much later in the day when my dad came back home, and I also told him the same thing. I told him that this was what I saw, but I already asked mom, and mom said it was a big snake in her village giving birth. So that was why that color came out, was in display on the sky. So my dad laughed and said, "Yes, your mom was right, or your mom is right in that it was a rainbow. But that story about the snake, that's a complete lie." So I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes, don't mind your mom, she's lying." So I asked my dad, "So what was the story behind the colors in the sky?" So my dad was like, "It's actually a lion, a very big lion in his own village giving birth. That was what caused this display of colors in the sky." So I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yes, don't mind your mom, it's my village. It was a lion, a big lion. This lion gives birth a couple of times in a year, and this is what you see in the sky as a result of it." So I said, "Okay." At this point, I was actually confused. I didn't know if my mom or my dad, which of them were actually telling me the gospel truth. So speaking of the gospel, I remember a couple of weeks later, I was in church and the pastor was preaching the gospel and he was telling us about a story of a man called Noah. And I believe we all know this story. He was a man who was upright and righteous before God. And God warned him that he was going to destroy the world with water, and that he should build an ark that is going to house his family members, and also get different animals in pairs of the two genders. Then, but no, now let's just say we have quite a few more genders. So he was reading from Genesis chapter 9 or thereabout, and he was saying that during the end of the flood, when the water started to recede and the rain stopped, that God made the sky lit up in all rainbow colors, and it was something to symbolize, to serve as a covenant between God and man. Noah was the representative then, that he was not going to destroy the world anymore with water. So I started thinking all over again, but my mom told me snake, my dad told me lion. Now the pastor is telling me it symbolizes a covenant between man and God, that he was not going to destroy the world with water anymore. So, but I come from a very religious home, a very Christian home to be precise. So we really take whatever the pastor told us as the gospel truth. So I took it at heart, and I grew up with that. Knowledge and conviction. So fast forward years later, we left Port Harcourt and we were in Benin City, which is the capital of my native state. I remember I was in SS1, which is short for Senior Secondary School 1. I think the equivalent should be high school. And I started taking interest in science, particularly biology, chemistry, physics. Not so much physics, but I remember particularly the physics teacher was in class. He was teaching us about light, and he was using some terminologies like reflection, refraction, deflection, and he was just using several terminologies. And I remember he brought a bulb in the class, and he lit the bulb up, a white bulb to be precise, and he lit the bulb up, and he asked, "Can someone in this class tell me what color of bulb we have here?" I was quick to raise my hand up, and he said, "Okay, Jerry, what was the color?" I just said it was white. It's a white bulb. So he said, "You are right, but you are wrong." So he asked another question. "Can someone tell me what's the color of the sun outside?" The class, everybody, we echoed white. And he said, "Again, you guys are right, but you are wrong." Do you know that he was saying, do you know that light does not just display just a singular color? Our eye can only make sense of one color at a time, most times, unless the process of refraction happens. It was really confusing to me. He told the class to calm down, that he was going to explain in much easier and simpler terms for us to understand. He said we just need to take note of two keywords, which was bounce and bend. He said when light hits or meets a surface and bounces off that surface, that's called reflection. But if it hits or meets a surface and bends through that surface, that's called refraction. That refraction in particular has the ability to split light, white light, into different colors. He said we could use a prism to act as that surface in class, but he wanted us to go back home to replicate the same experiment. So he was going to use water instead of prism, which is much easily accessible to all the students. So he requested someone to get a bowl of water and mirror, which when he got it, he tilted the mirror inside the water, and he got a flashlight, a white flashlight, and shone the white light directly into the water to the mirror. And what happened was that mirror served as a barrier, which caused this process called refraction, bending the white light and the mirror picked that, and was able to pick those colors and reflected it on the wall. And we were able to see the rainbow display for the first time in my own life and in our lives. And that was really life changing. I went back home and replicated the same experiment, which was really beautiful. What happened was that years later, that experiment and that experience changed something in my mind and in my heart, and it made me realize that things are not just as easy as plain as we see. The white light, the sun isn't just white, or the white bulb isn't just white. It's made up of different other color. It's much more complicated than we see and we think. And I felt it didn't just change something in my head in terms of scientifically, it also changed something in my mind societally. And I also felt black isn't just black. Well, I understand this present day and age, this modern era. I've now decided to associate the rainbow colors with the celebration and amplification of sexual perversion and fantasies in the name of inclusion and diversity. I personally feel it is very silly and demeaning to associate something as symbolic as the rainbow colors to activities that should be best left in the confines of the bedroom by two consenting adults. I have my objections to what the rainbow colors and flag now symbolize today, but more so when I see fellow black brothers and sisters associating and embracing this new trend and culture in the name of modernity and diversity. Being black is as diverse as one can ever be. The rainbow colors and flags should be employed by black people all over the world to represent and encourage unity in our shared ethnic, cultural, traditional and religious diversities, not in celebration of sexual perversions. It is a shame that the rainbow colors have been hijacked for far too long for petty sexual fantasies when it could be used to encourage something really empowering. So let's take Africa as an example. With a population of over 1.4 billion people, Africa sits comfortably as the second most populous continent in the entire world, only bested by Asia. 80% of this said population is considered black. These are usually countries and people who resides just below the Sahara Desert, also known as Sub-Saharan Africa. Africa has a total of 54 different countries, over 3,000 different ethnic groups, over 3,000 different languages, numerous cultures, numerous traditions, numerous religions. All these are colors. Another example is Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million black people. Nigeria alone has over 371 different ethnic groups, over 500 different languages, numerous religions and traditions. Again, all these are colors. If we zoom out a bit and look at the black race globally, the black race is extremely diverse, extremely colorful, and extremely beautiful as the colors of the rainbow. As we speak now, a black man somewhere in America is getting ready for work wearing his suit and tie. In Ghana is a woman staring down the mirror, adjusting and making sure her kente fits just fine. In Nigeria is a proud black man adjusting his agbada. In Kenya and Tanzania is a couple getting ready for wedding wearing the shuka. In South Africa is the shwe. All these are beautiful colors. All these are bright, beautiful colors. Yet as we speak, there's a black man somewhere in the Caribbean, probably in Trinidad and Tobago or in Jamaica, raising his hands straight to the heavens and calling on to Jah. In Brazil, Italy, or the United Kingdom is another woman putting both hands together and praying to Jesus. In Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Egypt, or Libya is a woman, a black woman wearing her hijab and bowing down to Allah. In India is a black woman bringing offerings to Buddha. In Benin Republic is another black woman bringing offering, but this time to Shango. In Edo State is a proud Edo man bringing offering again, but this time to Ogun. All these are the types of diversities and colors we as black people must encourage and embrace, not celebrating sexual perversions like it's the best new thing since sliced bread. So I'll conclude this video by saying that black is red, black is orange, black is yellow, black is green, black is blue, black is indigo, black is violet, black is all these 7 beautiful rainbow colors and more. So see you guys on my next video. Yalla, vamos!